To mark the visit of Donald Trump, this video will bring you the history of state dinners, what the dress code is, and how to properly wear a white tie. State banquets are an age-old event that go back several thousand years. From ancient Rome to medieval England, the impetus was the same, for rulers to remind others of their status, nobility, wealth and power, as well as making sure they invited those in their good books, partly as a means of keeping them that way. Fast forward to the 19th century, as the importance of international diplomacy increased, this became their primary function. When done properly, like in Britain, the tables are long, with the head table sitting perpendicular at one end. Jackie Kennedy, in her rebellious ways, decided to change this to round tables at the White House, which was an interesting choice. They are dramatic, but often go without drama. But now and again, there are stories. Within the badly timed toasts and gatecrashers, my favourite is when Britain hosted Vladimir Putin on a state visit in 2003. The then Home Secretary, David Blunkett, was blind, so he bought his guide dog. He was taken to the Queen, who was talking to the President of Russia, and his guide dog barked at Putin. Putin scurried away, and David Blunkett, worried that he'd caused some sort of embarrassment to the Queen, apologised. "I'm sorry, Your Majesty. She's usually very, very well behaved." The Queen smiled, gave the dog a pat and said, "Dogs have such interesting instincts, don't they, Home Secretary?" Now for dress. In the early days of state dinners, court dress of silk breeches, embroidered coats, stockings and swords were required. Enter Beau Brummel, who began wearing trousers ever lower, and soon enough the black and white of white tie emerged, then secured itself in the Victorian era, and then the great sartorial King Edward VII established white tie as the correct formal dress for diplomatic and state occasions. In the United States, it was President Truman who wanted to try and relax things, but people showed up in both black tie and white tie with decorations, which would have been seen as a bit of a fumble. And now for white tie. White tie is a tailcoat with trousers, Marcella waistcoat and bow tie, dress shirt, black socks and patent leather pumps, with orders and medals if applicable. The bottom of the front of the jacket should sit beneath the bottom of the waistcoat by at least half an inch, like so. If it looks like this, it is incorrect. Trousers should have 2 rows of braid rather than the single one on black tie, so no cheating. The shirt should be a single cuff with cufflinks rather than French cuffs, which are usually seen as the formal cuff, and the buttons should be done up with studs. It is indoors, so no need for a hat, and if you wear a pocket square, it should be white. My feelings on watches are as before. Dress watches have been around for as long as wristwatches, slim and elegant for such occasions. So do wear one, but avoid yellow gold and stick with white or platinum. There may be a curveball thrown in, and it will be this. This is called the Windsor uniform. It's worn by members of the royal family, and it is notable by the red facings on the cuff and collar.